All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Condone Yourself, where we're here to talk about season 15. And I am Joe, and we have Kelly,
Hey, everybody.
and we have OT.
What's up, people?
All right. This was the lip sync Perusa.
Smackdown for the gods.
Smackdown for the gods.
It was a
House
lot.
down boots.
It was a lot.
What was it? All Stars or the last season when they did the lip syncs?
14.
They did it last season, but that was because everyone got in trouble. They also did it on the previous All Stars with Silky, as they were eliminating the queens.
When Silky took everybody out.
Yeah, and so I think they see the benefit in the Perusa, and I don't know how I feel about it becoming a Drag Race staple. Like, there's a part of me that's really excited that it'll become a part of the canon of what is Drag Race, and that we'll get to see everyone lip sync at some point during every season. But there's also a part of me that thinks it, like, the appeal of it is when there's a purpose behind it, like a real purpose. Like, you know, in All Stars, the real purpose behind it was, are we going to let another queen who's been eliminated back? Last season, the purpose behind it was, you all did so terrible, I don't know who to send home, so this lip sync is going to help me figure it out. And now, it, like, if it's just going to be like Snatch Game or like the Rusical, I don't know how I feel about that yet.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
keep it. Like, I liked all the Smackdowns have all been interesting. Even the one in All Stars season 4. You know, I know there was intent behind it, but it really got the queens to kind of step up and get things done. The only time I really don't like the lip sync Smackdown is in the finale with the final 4. That damn wheel. I hate it. But I love showing you know, a side of the queens that we don't normally see. Like, we wouldn't have seen that from Marsha. I didn't expect any of this from Marsha. I expected a little bit of Spice and Malaysia. But it was really nice to see, you know, STDs and, you know, Mistress lip sync and do their thing. So
yeah, we'll get there, but I like the format. I think was fun. But let's start at the beginning. Really, I don't want to give this too much time, but basically, Lucy going on again about the thing about her is then she said twice, I don't know why you guys are bringing this up. I only said it once, and I'm like, girl, no, you did. And I think Mistress keeps saying this, which is just be real. Like, why can't you
own
just
be
on it? Like, about anything, she can't. Yeah. She will not do it.
Just own your shit.
Yeah.
Period. Like that's all it takes. Like, seriously, own your shit.
Yeah. If you're gonna say over and over again that you were robbed, then when someone says and pokes fun at you for doing that, then you have to just own it. Don't try to backtrack.
Take notes from Lux, right? Like, Lux owns all of her delusion. She is fine living in it. And when people call her out, she's like, yeah, but my nails stayed on, right? You know, so if you've ever learned anything from watching any political scandal, any scandal period, once people say, yeah, I did it, people move on.
Yeah.
People move on because there's nothing else to, the whole point is people want to uncover something. They want to get people to admit something. But if you just come right out and be like, yeah, I did that, you know, like Paris Hilton made a whole career out of it. Like, oh my God, Paris, is that you in that porno? She was like, yeah, go buy it. Bam. Like, that was it.
Yeah. Unbothered.
Yeah.
It happened.
And Lucy very easily could have been like, yeah, I was pissed and I couldn't let it go.
Right.
Done, you know?
With a name like Lucy, you would think she would be more laid back. But she is tidy. She is tidy Taduka.
Yeah. She needs,
that's what she is. She is tidy Taduka.
Yeah, she need to do something with herself. And it's and what's worse, this is the worst of the worst part. She's really good. Like, her drag is so good. It's so polished. It's so together. There's a part of me that really wants to root for her, but I can't. No. I cannot, because she's unlikable.
Yeah.
If she has to lip sync for her life,
she's in trouble.
She's going home.
Yeah, she's in trouble.
And speaking of not owning up to things too, is like later on they were just like, we know why you picked Spice, and she was like, no, I didn't. And it's like, just say
Just
it.
say
Like,
you picked her because you thought you would win.
yeah, it's a
Because that's why
competition.
every single person picked somebody who they thought, I have a chance to beat this person.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
Right? Because why else? Like the whole point is to go to the back.
Yeah.
So every single person who said they, tried to like talk out of it, Malaysia, no, you picked that person because you thought you would win.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And if you didn't win, that's also fine.
Yeah.
Well, and actually Malaysia made a mistake because she thought initially she should pick Spice. And she backtracked and she didn't. And Marsha made her pay for that.
Yes, she did.
But I wish Malaysia would have owned it a little bit better.
Me too.
And said, yeah, I picked you. I thought your lip sync skills was similar to your makeup skills.
Yeah.
Right. Or
we haven't seen you
not
much,
present.
But that to me, I think that it just showed people have a really short memory, because you saw that Marsha's a ballet dancer on the first episode.
I know. When they
so
said
you had to know that some of that was in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't the flips, if she got to doing all that twirling like she was doing in the beginning, like what were you going to do against that?
Yeah. She's a dancer.
Her talent was lip syncing and dancing.
It was dance. Yes. So I was like, I think people forgot because they've gotten so caught up in her makeup and her drag that they forgot that her talent was dancing, and she's a ballet dancer.
Honestly, Malaysia really didn't have many to choose from. She was going to lose a lot of those lip syncs. The only way it worked was Spice, and we can get into that later.
Yeah,
and that was
there's not much other stuff before the lip sync. I mean, it got right into it. So
before we jump into the lip sync, we do have to talk about Ru's look. That was like one of my all-time favorite Ru looks ever. That black, like patent leather looking, it looked like she had a garbage bag that was fancily tied around her body.
And black licorice.
Yes, and the white bouffant in her hair. Like, she looked amazing. We normally have photos, but here's the best I can do for the viewers.
Here's my one complaint is the wig was giving me colonial America.
I lived for it.
Like a barrister from
Britain. Alexander Rumilton. Like I was here for it. That was probably my favorite look of Ru.
One of the founding drag mothers.
Right. Yeah, that was my favorite look of her for the whole season.
Okay, so then we get into the lip sync, and the setup was you got your name drawn from a member of the pit crew, and that meant that you got to pick
Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
No, we talk about Bruno. We talk about Bruno.
I love his eyes, and he's always smiling. Like, he just looks like he's having the best time.
Yeah, I would be. I mean, it feels like it's a really fun gig. You just have to like look cute and not have to do much. You don't even
a really cold gig.
Yeah,
they don't even talk really.
Yeah, very very infrequently. But his accent is so thick and so endearing. Like, his
accent.
Yeah.
See what you did
might
there.
not be real.
Okay, so then you get to pick your opponent, but then the opponent gets to pick the song.
Right.
Yes.
And they got to see all of the different songs. So many good ones on that list. And the first one to get drawn was Malaysia. And she, as we previously said, thought about picking Spice. And she made the wrong decision to instead pick Marsha.
Right. She wanted a battle, but she didn't want it to be too hard. Mistake.
Yeah.
No.
And Marsha swept the floor with her.
Yeah, it never really was. There was never really an opportunity there. Like, I thought Marsha looked cute in her little outfit.
Yeah, that orange was cute.
Yeah, it was good on her. And anything, and I think this is one part of Marsha's drag that she has completely right. She always highlights her legs, and her legs are fantastic. She's beautiful legs, and she always wears something that highlights her legs, and she has the cutest little butt, and it always shows off her butt in a really good way. So whatever she does, whatever, like that part of her drag is fine. The rest of it from here out, she needs to work on.
Well, and the fashion is just always kind of muted.
One note.
Very.
But there wasn't a lot to go on. Like we got to see Marsha, do some cute flips, and that was that.
Yeah, and then Malaysia quickly realizing she needed to turn it up a notch. So
she tried. She tried.
I was like, don't hurt yourself, girl.
Yeah, but it wasn't fantastic. Nothing really to say there.
I would have loved to have been Marsha, because then she just got to sit on the couch.
For the rest of the time. Like that was the best, being the first up. Oh my gosh.
So then Lucy's name gets drawn.
Yes.
And as we said before, she chose Spice because she thought Spice was the weakest, even though she didn't say that.
Even though she won't admit it.
Spice was in her cheap wig. Very
Canada wig.
Canadian Party City wig.
That rocker chick-ish outfit. I don't know what she was
doing. It did match up with the Joan Jett song.
It did.
But Spice is just not a lip sync assassin.
And neither one of them ever really turned it up.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, not like it was a really lackluster lip sync. The only thing, Lucy just looked pretty. And so she drew your eye because of her outfit, the long fringe stuff hanging off of it, the gold highlights. She just looked amazing. Lucy.
And I think one of the nice things about having the queens as they won back in the workroom is that their commentary was really interesting. And I think Marsha said here, she's like, turn it up, girls. Come on.
Yeah.
And they never
turned it up. Yeah.
There was some here where I'm like, they should both be eliminated, or they should both
or safe. Yeah.
But Lucy won, further enlarging her ego.
Yeah, because she thought she killed that lip sync, and I was like, "Girl, you assassinated that lip sync. You didn't kill it."
But I was with Selena when she's like, "I'm secretly rooting for Spice just to see what happened with Lucy cracking."
Yeah,
yes.
I was like, "Same girl." I was like,
"Me too."
Let's go.
Yeah, I wanted Spice to surprise us, but I've been wanting Spice to surprise us all season, and I have been let down every episode.
Yeah. But I'm with Selena. I'm waiting for that one moment that's gonna really crack Lucy when she loses it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like Lucy won't make top 4.
I hope.
I actually have a feeling Lucy will make top 4.
I have a feeling something's going to happen where she's going to crack and just not do it. Granted, I haven't seen the last episode, so maybe something happens there.
Well, I mean, we might end up with the top 5 like we did last year. And
in my opinion, right now, there should not be a top 5.
There should not be a top 5. Chance Leo posted on our last video about who he believes his top 4 is, and I'm almost completely 100% behind him on that. We'll see how the next couple episodes shake out, but I think he has it correct.
What did he say?
He said Anitra, Lux, Mistress, and Sasha as the top 4.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so I shout out to Chance Leo. But I definitely believe that that's the top 4. I believe Lucy has a shot of being in there. I also believe that there could possibly be another top 5 situation, because the show needs a villain, like a true villain. They love having a true villain. They love having someone who's the mean person that you can just sort of point to and say, this is the bad guy. And Lucy is the villain of this season.
See,
and so I don't get rid of her.
See, I actually kind of feel Mistress is a little bit of the villain, but I love Mistress and Lux are giving me the villains I love. They're giving me Ursula, and they're giving me,
But that's it, right? They're not true villains. They're endearing. They have redeeming qualities. Lucy is just a villain.
I know, but that's more annoying and get out of here. you know, because, you know, Mistress and Lux are more interesting and they're doing well. Like I can relate to them, you know. You like a likable villain. You don't want a unlikable one.
Maybe. Speaking of Lux, she was next up
And she
with
chose Selena.
Selena.
I was shook when she chose Selena. I was like, girl, I don't think you should do it.
Well, I was happy that she chose Selena because if you think about it, the people who were left, no one wanted to do Sasha and Anitra.
Yeah.
No one wanted to do Jax. They had
I would have
already
done
seen
Jack.
her.
They've already
They had
seen
already
all her
seen her.
takes and tired.
Well, that part, which we'll get to in a moment, there weren't a lot of really great options at that point. Anyone who she was going to have to play lip sync against was going to be a battle, right? It wasn't going to be an easy win. So she chose the person who she thought was probably the easiest of the people who were left. And I also agree. Like, if I'm standing on that stage, I would have picked Selena as well, even though I saw Selena. And I think Selena's a fantastic lip syncer based on what she did in the challenge. She's a great performer, but if I'm standing on that stage, I would have chose Selena too.
The problem was that Celine Dion song was still on the board. And I think it just played right into Selena's wheelhouse, you know?
Yeah.
Because Lux, I think, still did good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I thought that was
great.
I thought that was a solid. I wanted her to keep them both because they did very different versions of that song, and they both did their version of that song extremely well.
Yeah.
Right. Like that was a very, very close lip sync. While I definitely believe Selena edged her out, you know, if we're giving points, Selena was a 97 and Lux was like a 94. Like they both had A's, but Selena's A was just a little higher.
Joe disagrees.
I mean, Selena was an A and Lux was a B. I really enjoyed Selena, and I knew she was going to kill the lip sync because she just seems like a huge performer, comedian. She can kind of infuse those things together, and I feel like Lux can be a bad bitch and be very like sharp and polished, but she will struggle adding that comedic factor into it. And I feel like, you know, Selena mixes it very well, which does well for lip sync.
Yeah, well, and I was noticing this lip sync SmackDown too, that if you are really good facially, like just standing still, but your face shows all of the emotions and you're feeling the song and you know all the words, like it's very hard to beat you in a ballad. It just is, like, because there are queens that are great dancers and they have all the moves, but like when it's a ballad like this, if you don't have the face and the emotion, you're probably not going to win.
Yeah. And I was just like living. I just loved it. I was like, there we go, Selena. That's exactly what I've been wanting to see more of from you. And she delivered. I was ecstatic. I felt bad for Lux because Lux, you know, shouldn't have had to lip sync again. But honestly, neither did Anitra.
Yeah.
You know, so
and we'll get into that.
Yeah, we will definitely get into OT's conspiracy theory coming soon.
Okay, so Selena wins, and then next up, a Mistress gets drawn, and
Jax.
What?
Jax.
No, Mistress got drawn,
and she picked Jax.
And she picked Jax.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, Mistress was, because remember she was like, I'm a genius because I picked the person
who
would do the song that I wanted to do.
Yes. So,
and this was Taylor Dane, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I love that song.
Can we talk about I know we're not talking much about the fashion, but Jax's outfit was awful. And it didn't help her.
And if we're gonna can we just say how fantastic Lux looked? I mean, she looked like Naomi Campbell, like walking like it was amazing. Anyway, back to Jax's outfit being terrible.
But the reason I bring up Jax's outfit is we saw it a couple times because, you know, she lip synced a couple times, but like it just did not do her any favors, you know, at all in terms of like standing out, in terms of looking good, in terms of having a presence.
She just wanted something she could easily dance in and do the things she always does.
Yeah. I saw, and that's the thing. It's the things she always does. And I think because we've seen her lip sync so many times now, it's the moves are stale.
Yeah.
But that is the big problem for me with this lip sync. This was the lip sync where the girls were actually not excited to see Mistress as the winner. It was the only lip sync where at the end when she walked in, everyone was sort of like surprised and not cheering for her. And I'll have to agree. While Jax's moves were predictable and we sort of knew what was coming because she had lip synced multiple times before, I still think she outperformed Mistress, and that should have been rewarded in the same way that everyone else's performances were rewarded who outperformed someone. Did Mistress do a great job? Absolutely. I thought Mistress killed that lip sync. I thought she had all the emotions. She knew all the words, like you talked about earlier, Kelly. Her face was selling it, and maybe that's where Jax could have floundered. Right. I don't think Jax knew the words as well as Mistress. I don't think she was able to embody the song, but but apples to apples, performance to performance, Jax outperformed Mistress.
I just think the judges, well, Ru especially, is now obsessed with the boob twerk. So,
yeah, that boob twerk is everything.
So they're just like, well, give it to her.
Yeah, that boob twerk is everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, it's all about what's memorable.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to remember Jax. Yeah. But Mistress's performance was memorable. And I thought that was a clear one, too. I was very shocked that the girls didn't think Mistress won that. But
you thought she did?
Like, I did. And I'm thinking kind of like, is it because Mistress doesn't like dance like Jax, or that she's maybe like a bigger queen? I don't know, but I thought Mistress had a great performance.
She did.
And I thought Jax was lackluster. Like, for me, Jax's face is not in it. It's the same one note the whole time. Every lip sync the whole time. And Mistress gave me levels of emotion. I was just watching her, and she commanded attention. Whereas Jax was just like a background dancer.
Yeah. I think that's exactly it. And I think the problem is some queens have presence and some queens don't. And regardless of if your dancing is amazing and you're lip syncing and all the words, it's like, if you don't have a presence, my eye wanders and I'm just like watching the other queen the whole time. And I think that's where Jax didn't have it.
Yeah. And I think too, like, the queens know each other a little bit more. So they see each other and they know what everyone has to offer and respect what people do from a drag perspective. But us, we're kind of like the judges. We don't see these queens as much as they see each other. And so we're seeing this like blindly. Like, we don't know their like necessarily their personalities or how they get along with everybody, but we see them from a performance standpoint. So we're like outside looking in. Just like Mistress just took my attention. Whereas Jax, I was over it.
Yeah, I also believe that we were being, this is where my conspiracy theory begins. I believe we were being set up to see the final lip sync that we ended up getting, because I believe that Ru knew that there were only two people who could possibly really outperform Jax, and she needed to make sure that one of those two people sent Jax home.
Well, what if you were another queen? Would you have picked Anitra or Sasha?
No, absolutely not. Like, and that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't gonna, you didn't even have to administer that. It just wasn't going to happen.
But
nobody was going to choose them.
But their names didn't get drawn.
Their names didn't get drawn. And also, right, like when Jax went up against Mistress, was it Jax's time to go? Absolutely. But again, while all the things you all said about Mistress are true, she drew your eye. Her performance was high level. It was interesting. I have watched Ru reward people for the performance that Jax gave all the time. And to watch Jax not be rewarded for that sort of performance was disappointing for me as a viewer. Of course, Mistress should have stayed. Of course, Jax should not be on the show anymore. Jax is out of her league. But it felt very unfair. That's all.
She rewarded Jax already twice for the same lip sync. So I'm just saying.
We watched Cameron Michaels make it all the way to the final four and get a Vegas show doing the exact same performance.
Yes, but Cameron Michaels deserved to win each and every one of those lip syncs.
No, she didn't. She did not beat Miss Cracker. I'm sorry. She did not win against Miss Cracker.
Well, you have a thing for Miss Cracker.
I love Miss Cracker is hilarious.
Well, I'm that's you.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's your brand.
Well, conspiracy or not, I was obsessed with
Look, I like Cameron Michaels. I did. The only time I really enjoyed her was.
So next up was Anitra and.
All right, so Anitra and Sasha.
This was the lip sync the entire Drag Race universe had been waiting to see.
Yeah,
and Anitra's name got chosen to choose the song.
Yeah.
Yes.
They absolutely both should have just stayed.
Oh my God.
It should have been. Absolutely.
I mean, are you kidding?
But I will say, since I've watched this lip sync now 7-8 times, Sasha won that shit.
I think Sasha pulled it at the end.
Yeah, I think the twerk, little riff at the end and the little booty bump
work at the end and the hair whips really, really sealed the deal. I mean, you are talking about 199.5.
Yeah.
Those lip syncs were epic. I thought that Lady Camden gave me the lip sync of my lifetime last season. That lip sync was all of it. When I tell you, I leapt out of my chair. I'm on the floor, on my knees, staring up at my TV, like
kicking your feet back.
Yeah,
it was like that.
Oh, and they both looked incredible. It was like not only was the performance incredible and sexy and so good and engaging, but like they both just looked so fierce and sexy and. It was, and they have a little bit different styles for sure, but they both killed it. And
they ate.
And it looked more like a performance.
Yeah.
It looked like they were working together because Sasha was doing ad-libs that Anitra wasn't. And it was almost like they were singing different parts of the song because of the way it was edited. Like they showed mostly Sasha doing the first verse, mostly Anitra doing the second verse. So it actually looked like a cohesive performance, like they were performing together, which is my favorite kind of lip sync, right? When it's so good that you don't realize that they're battling, right? It just looks like a performance.
And like we just said, they definitely both should have just stayed, but I'm glad that Anitra kept going to just take out Jax.
I think that's more of the conspiracy where I align with, where I think the reason why Ru was like, okay, I'm not saving 2 people or saving more people
because I need somebody to take Jax out.
Someone to take Jax
and that's what I think. I think that, and not that I think Anitra won that lip sync. I do not. Sasha won. She won by a very, very small margin, but she won.
Yeah.
Right. But
we agree.
But do I think Lux won that second one? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And we'll get to that in a second.
I got my opinions. I got my opinions on that. Yeah.
Before we get to that, I do have to ask one question. Is the Sasha and Anitra lip sync now the great lip sync of RuPaul's Drag Race?
I don't know. There's been I think the one still for me is the Kennedy Davenport Katya, right?
Katya,
Roar one.
Oh,
mine.
That's the one I always think about, and because that's the one where Kennedy jumps off the stage too, right? Forget it.
Yeah, I'm still, which is weird because I hate this season in its totality, but it's Brooklyn and Evie.
Oh my God, that's the exact same one I was going to say.
It's so good. I love Evie. Brooklyn, I'm a little iffy on, but that was the best part of that season. That whole season.
That whole rewatch that whole one. Episode, that whole thing.
So good.
Brooklyn's runway reveal, and then that lip sync. I cannot.
It was insane.
I can't hear that song without that lip sync
What song
playing in
was
my
it?
head. It was oh my gosh. It was Demi Lovato.
Yes.
What's
Oh my God. I can't think of it now too.
So I'm out here looking like a 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
Best you ever get. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Demi Lovato's Sorry, Not Sorry.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that song,
It's good.
I see that lip sync happening in
Okay,
my
I'm gonna
head.
have to rewatch this one.
It's
Yeah.
so
It was
good.
a Snatch Game because they
Yeah,
both
the
did
Snatch
horrible
Game
on Snatch
episode.
Game.
Oh,
It's
right.
so good. It's so good.
The two people that did worse in Snatch Game ended up being the top 2 of the season.
Right. Which almost never happens.
No,
Yeah.
that just shows how kind of like interesting that season was. A lot of great queens evolved from that season, but didn't show up that season. How about that?
Yeah, because that's where we got Monet. No, we didn't.
No, that's where we got Raja.
Yeah, that's not where we got Monet.
Yeah, Monet was season 10.
You just wanted to sing.
I did. We didn't sing this morning. So okay. Now that we cleared that up, I just wanted to get you all's thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So then,
okay, so Malaysia is up.
Yes,
and
finally picked Spice, and this was probably the funnest of the lip syncs to me because of Spice's attempt to create
so funny.
this whole drama. She tried to do a calculated risk and make something work for herself.
Aww.
And it started out working. She's like, I'm going to pick a song that I know she doesn't know. And then they start lip syncing and she's like, yes, she doesn't know the song. And then
like,
a quarter away through the first verse, she realizes, shit.
I don't know this either. But all of us can relate to that. Anyone who's done like karaoke and they're like, oh my God, I love this song. And then you're like, these are the words.
And then you realize you only know the chorus and you're like, oh shoot.
Right. And you can't stay on beat because you're like, wait, these words don't match up.
See, this is one. And I mean, it's hard to follow with the Anitra Sasha situation, but then I'm like, well, you guys could both go.
Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think Malaysia won, but it's hard when neither of them know the words.
Right. And that was really about who gave a more interesting performance.
Yeah.
And Malaysia's performance was more interesting, though it wasn't interesting in general.
Yeah.
I am so frustrated with Malaysia. Like I said before, I feel like she's muted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything she does is a little bit muted. Like she's not fully present. She seems very doubting or not confident about herself or herself as a queen. But there's moments where I was like, oh, okay, I see something, a spark. Yeah. It's happening. And then these lip syncs, I was like, girl, now I know why you ain't performing in Miami. You ain't there. Yeah, you're not present. And she was hoping to get the ballad, the Celine Dion ballad. That's the only song. That's the only song you were hoping to get.
Right.
Park and Bark.
And she chose Marsha, and then she chose Spice. I was like, girl, what are you hoping to happen here? You can't even, you're not even playing this right.
She's also very quickly about to be out of her league.
I mean, that puts us into the next part, though. So we get the three-way Anitra, Lux, Jax situation.
Yeah.
And
this was a twist. Because I definitely did.
Wait, not Anitra Lux. Sorry,
Anitra Lux Jax. Yeah, that was the next lip sync after Spice and Malaysia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we end up with a three-way lip sync, which I did not see. So another small twist that I did not see coming was the three-way lip sync because I was thinking to myself, "Hey, we're running out of songs." But that's because I'm not as smart as I pretend I am.
And then talk about Jax disappearing. This when you put her on a stage with two other queens, them being Anitra and Lux. Forget it. I did not even notice her once during this whole lip sync.
She also didn't know the words,
but I thought Anitra and Lux both did amazing. I mean, again. Anitra, both of them could have stayed, and Jax could have gone for been eliminated.
I think how Lux edges her out is Lux is the only one they showed during the rap, So I think Lux is the only one who knew all the rap words.
Like
and
every
she
word.
was and she was giving, like Joe said, at that point, you could see her giving a little more levels. I won't say she was giving like Selena S. Titty or Mistress Isabel levels, but she gave a little more levels in this song. You could tell that she had a comfort with this song. Like she really knew it. She was really feeling it. And I think her knowing the rap is what helped her win that performance.
Yeah, because it was pretty neck and neck, and that pushed her forward. That part. Yeah.
I also like with Jax, first of all, Jax just again in the background dancer. And this is why, like, she can dance the house down boots great on her own, but as we saw in the girl group challenge and as we saw with the lip sync with Mistress, she can definitely fade.
Yep.
She can fade. Lux, I loved because she would not give the center up. And she was the only one wearing white. And so she was shining bright and she was not giving that center up. Everybody else was dancing around her. Lux was in the center just doing the thing. She's like, you gonna see me. You gonna pick me.
You can dance around me.
You gonna pick me. You ain't, no, I'm knocking all these bitches out. Like, and that's why I love her like personality and how she thinks of herself. But she's like, no one is knocking me down. No one's knocking down how I think about myself. I don't care if the judges say no. It's still a yes for me.
Yes.
and she exudes it. I love this queen for that.
So. And we as an audience are drawn to that kind of,
people love an endearing arrogance, right? Like people love, it's my number one quality, right? People love that Lux is my daughter, right? Like I am just like that, right? And people gravitate because people enjoy confidence. Right. And they enjoy it because they're confused by it and they're intrigued by it. Because people who don't have it are like, where are you getting this from? How is this happening? Show me more.
I was gonna say it's also a little bit contagious.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. People who also have it, like they're intrigued. They're like, oh, if this person can have this, I can have this, right? So it's great to have her on the show and see her.
It is.
I love it. And Joe, I didn't even pick up on that, and now I'm playing it back in my head. And you're right, she did stay in the center of the stage almost the entire performance.
Yeah, she's like, I ain't moving.
Yeah, that's true. So Lux wins, sending Anitra and Jax back with Spice.
Yep.
Then we have the three.
Then we have the twist.
And then we get the major twist, which
I love the twist.
That twist was everything. Good job, RuPaul. The twist gets a fan.
I love it when Drag Race starts adding elements of Survivor, because that's one of my favorite reality shows. And they always do like twists like this.
All respect due to Lenitra for I said Lenitra. That's my friend. That's my friend from. Anyway, all respect due to Anitra. You get a fan.
Yes.
For playing a fair game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for admitting to playing a fair game.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm saving Spice because do you think it's fair for me to go up against her?
No.
And nobody would have thought it was fair. And here's the deal. I wouldn't have lost any respect for her if she would not have chosen Spice. I would not have lost any respect for her because at that point, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I have lip synced twice and I have arguably won at least one of these lip syncs. And the other one should have been a double save. Like I have given you everything you've asked me for in this lip sync. There's no reason for me to be sitting here except for the fact that you wanted to make sure someone was standing here that actually could send Jax home. Period. So all respect due to Lenitra for saving Spice.
Lenitra.
Why do I keep saying Lenitra?
I don't know,
I'm gonna call her. All respect due to Anitra for saving Spice.
Yeah. And what she said makes sense. It's just like this is not Spice's area of strength. And not only did she know she would probably beat Spice, but that like she wanted to see what else she could do. She was trying to give her a chance. So then it comes down to Lenitra.
Don't do that.
Anitra and Jax, and no surprise here, Anitra wins.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
and she just stole the spotlight, right? Like this was the time where Joe, I 100% agree. She steals the entire spotlight. Jax disappears, and we finally get to say goodbye to Jax. And
well, you know it's bad. Speaking of like fading, when Jax is like in front, like so, like up in the front, and like Anitra maybe back on the catwalk, and I'm just like looking around Jax,
like looking for Anitra, trying to see what she's doing. Yeah, yeah, agreed. So yeah, so we finally see Jax sashay away, and that's pretty much the end of the episode.
I think the right person went. You know,
definitely the right person went home.
Or Spice could have gone too, if not have been saved by Anitra. So like,
I was picking Spice because I just think for a lip sync thing, I figured it wasn't going to be Jax.
Yeah, and that's why I think this whole thing was a conspiracy. Like that's why I think she didn't let Jax win against Mistress. And I know you all disagree. I just think Jax won that lip sync based on performance, but whatever. The right person,
it all that like performance is defined in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And the right person went home. Period. Like it was time.
I got tired. I mean, she was in the bottom. I mean, she was a bottom twice already past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and that's the
same thing happened to Amethyst.
And at the end of the day, I still believe that Spice has more to offer. Like
I do.
If it's apples, like more than offer than Jax.
I do. I agree.
Yeah, so
more wigs to offer.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact that Spice is doing this without sugar now, I think it's a stepping stone for her to kind of break out into her own drag, whatever that is, but still have her thing with her sister, but still know what she can be without her sister.
Right.
So this is maybe, sounds like it's probably going to be an all-star situation where we see Spice again.
Yeah.
I would love to see Spice in an outfit and makeup and like wig done by somebody else and see what she would, because she's gorgeous.
Other than Party City.
Yeah, other than because she needs some help.
she is gorgeous, and I still love like Spice. Like she makes no excuses for herself.
She's very aware.
She's very aware, and she is just being. You could tell she is just being herself. There's no what you see is what you get. Yeah. This is me, and I love someone like that.
Yeah, she's very aware, and she's very real.
Yeah.
And I love that. Her. I love that. Like she has one of those personalities that just pull you in. She has a gravitational personality.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do condos and condon'ts.
Let's do it.
My condon't for this episode is don't make it look like a setup, Ru. Like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like Jax was supposed to go home. Right. And there were a lot of other ways you could have got Jax out of there without forcing everyone into this lip sync battle. and for me, if something's gonna be a setup, don't make like I've been watching this show for 15 years. I watch all the iterations of it around the world with subtitles. I watch all the all-stars. Like
even Australia.
Yeah, like. Yeah, I don't even like that one. But like the viewers are savvy enough to know when something is sort of staged, and this felt very staged.
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that either.
Very staged to me.
So maybe I'm not savvy.
I mean, I'm not saying
I'm
was Shangela losing and Trixie Mattel winning in All Stars 3. That was staged.
Also,
but
we didn't see that coming, right? Like I saw this coming. Jax versus Anitra. Like it just all felt staged.
I didn't see it coming. I thought Spice was gonna go home actually.
Yeah, no, I saw Jax versus Anitra from the start. Like I was like once Jax lost that first lip sync, I said to myself, she's gonna make sure that Anitra is at the end because I don't think she thinks Sasha, even though Sasha's a better lip syncer and Sasha also would have beat Jax, I don't think she thought Sasha would have lasted 3 lip syncs. And so she picked the younger queen because she knew the younger queen would last 3 lip syncs and still be able to beat Jax. That's my conspiracy, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a little too. You're reading too much into it.
Tinfoil hat.
But you know what? But that's okay. OT, have your conspiracy theory.
Ru is a marketing genius. That's all. What's your condone, Joe?
I'll pick Lucy.
Oh yeah.
Just the attitude. You're supposed to be a an older queen, a more mature queen. Quit whining that you're not getting attention.
That's so immature.
Yeah.
Mine is we were talking about Lux, commanding center stage, but one of my pet peeves in these battles is when queens that are not very good or know that they're like out that they are gonna get beaten, or then they try to like go in front of the other. I knew
that's what you were about to say.
And it just makes you look so desperate. Like that your last ditch effort is to just try to block them from
the other person
from view. And it never works. I've never seen it where it's like, she blocked the better queen and now that she won. It doesn't work. It just makes you look desperate.
It worked.
I don't think it. I've never seen a queen win with that strategy.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've never seen
because the better queens, the better dancers, the better performers just are like, whatever.
Yeah, people are just gonna, like you said, they're gonna be like, oh, Jax is in front. Where's Anitra?
Yeah, you're gonna be like looking around. So for condos, I had 2 that I wrote down for quotes that I thought was hilarious. One that I thought was so cute was Marsha doing like her little aside. And I forget who she was talking about, but she was like, well, you can go fuck yourself. And then she caught herself and was like, oh my God, no. Like, because she had a moment of just being real. Being, fuck yourself. And then she was like, oh shit, don't put that
was Mistress. She said about Mistress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she knew they were going to put it in there.
Yeah. Because she was saying Mistress was upset that the girls weren't receptive to her winning, and so she's like, okay, well, you changed my mood, now here I'm coming for you. I feel like Marsha, you got chosen because you're seen as one of the weaker lip syncers. And she's like, oh really? Well, fuck you then.
You can go fuck yourself. And I just love when queens, because she's been just such a sweet, nice queen, when they just let something out, and then she immediately knew, like, oh no, they're gonna use this for sure. And then the other thing that Sasha said, I think in Untucked, that I loved, because Untucked was kind of like a nice, this was a nice one where everybody was like, you're great. No, you're great. But Sasha said, she ain't never gonna not. And I was like, there's so many negatives in double negative, triple negatives in that sentence, but that is like my new motto. She ain't never gonna not.
My can-do moment, I mean, there were so many can-do moments for me on this episode, to be completely honest. Like Sasha's lip sync versus Anitra, like that was just epic. Lux's look for the episode was just like, it was gorge. But if I have to pick an overall can-do moment, I'm just gonna go with like you said, like Marsha, and like the grace and excitement that she was showing for almost everybody as they came in the back. Like she cheered for everyone except Mistress when they came in the back, and she didn't cheer for Mistress because she was surprised that Mistress came in the back. But like every single person that came in the back, she just cheered and she was excited, and I thought that was super cool.
Mine is, I don't know. I mean, I love Sasha's performance. I'm just addicted to Sasha. I'm just absolutely addicted. Like the way she moved. Okay, I got 2. The way she moved when that song started, and she did the little
this,
and I was like, I need to learn how to do that. But then my back was like, oh shit. But I love every like iota of Sasha. And so she's fantastic. And then there was a line that Mistress said at the beginning in response to Lucy's delusion. And she's like, the CDC needs to create a vaccine.
That part.
And I was like,
wait, say that again. What did she say?
The CDC needs to create a vaccine for Drag Race delusion.
That part. Yes.
Listen, Fauci. Get
I
on
know.
it.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was everything.
She's like, it's real. The delusion is real, honey.
Yeah. Well, I think we knocked it out. Yeah.
Killed it.
Great episode. All right. Thank you all once again for joining us on Condone Yourself. Please be sure to tune in next week where we break down the next episode of Drag Race, which will be the ball. So she bring it to you every ball, and that's what we're going to do. Bring it to you every ball. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Condone Yourself Podcast, and click subscribe, click like, leave comments. We are here for all of it. But until next time, she ain't never gonna not be here, honey.
She ain't never gonna not.
I don't know if I can say that without cutting my tongue.
Try it.
You can do it.
She's not gonna ever not.
Nailed it.
That was really good, Joe.
Are you in the house of Colby?
He could be.
Yeah.
He's pretty enough to be with him, Joe.
We can
Somehow I don't think I'd fit.
You could. You fit. We're all Colbys and